wabaje ene no nkonche yina na yerka se wase wajema egu akonu mu asisi ara mu na yerka fa ma ndwuma ko a weso ina asen emanyumi yerba ba ye ne dam boshaba electricals enkane papa afie electrical gadgets no home appliances de boshaba ko fani mu papa ba ye papa energy commission and Ghana standard authority what one stamp is a suri yan krobatan oye ba se dum pz kejiti market nkrobato the canon or yini je dum boshaba building ya ba prison son about antata kufabo sadan mu ewe dum pz impotem hera no so no won sabake 0536095966 nya ahmatofa eze ebefrehen
ye de kase ebremu anwumre eye me ekwese du amene menu abema
uncle ebo baini
afi kase no nkyeremu enie yedi nkan akwa yedi ani echiremu mfimfi mantamu ye kotwifo atimokwa mensini emu arawusama yensa ka kyerese ena prosifo akohu owura bia wadi beye mfie aduonum ene kakra efunu ewo GPRTU prasu station ye wo twifu empotamo ho na de odi nani kohu ye ni di adanse se de brabafo a na station a ekonkran ya Accra station ya ewo twifu praso eho no na efunu okohu ye na emu nsam nyina na ye kwahoma so na ye ne tomasopon a won de odi nani edi de ko nyina echi ene enkomo apekire nyina no waka ebi edi atre afofo
ana papa no tumi to ananam ewo nsedo na asat na wa me no ekate no ye nyam aye de bushani bia about 5 o'clock ya ana tete environmental board to ba papa aye body ni dey the station for no na okay papa na wa bro be to plan ba mi no nko ba ni aye akra ka mu na tete ko siye ndu no osi na to plan ya maka ka ko plan fa ni ade na papa na tamu se o kan ne ba na ne ba etumi aba be fa ne na trawa pay ne baby ama be fa no the diverse one we can be among for and so we are to do at the month pay and no kana get the embra so ye nyina sa na pay we are for this it one more the first no mo ya and passing the road na mo there so no e ka say ye nim papa yi wo baby a de enim ane say otibi akaka mu no ya so o train na baba be fa asa now there ye nyem hu bi ko a papa no na police for ana the environmental health back from home a mo ti na papa dia ti dia mo ti na papa si mo mo ka ye hwete buja ko bi so to me aba never
I did my for me so one to the go we are never catch baby ana so say me ma wallet ya na ye di documents ko ma ma shi na o kita phone ko a o ti ni FBA na ma hwe say ya last call o ye ana so say ya free no a friend o ade na from ye na be si so le ba ne mai o bi ama o me hwe ne ba
me ni na ba say na o kan ta ba ne say e won ta ke nya ko ana to bi sa wo ne bia e ni say papa no ho a we nya ka so bi ya kre ma wo mo say bi o pi ha na say na na de na amafo bi kan so okura e fa aposina okura nyema kakre bia kuba nya de sani mani nyina no akonko tiri bia ni nyina na ebi to e ka se okura e phone e she ne pocket na so the environmental phone ya de bi ho no phone ni bia ni e ke se papa no a wo mi aka identify say bia go you to na de bi sa and you know ka say here the ba no to be man de bia the ba de nya be bia tinu e bia na ye report wi a na ebi o motu egu na chire no wa ba hwe bia body ni da na fere mo se nkan e bia no motumi akamenya ba yo kunya ba kunya
Quentin Fiu
kase bone be na jambra Ghana fodo do nero nyim de asante manze ko sreni ite ma NPP amanyu ko no owura bana de bibu exam ya bibu na furniture man won to me wo asentia ene wo aka high court ba mo so kuro onya asama oya asam kaka waka nina ya garanse hu sensem bia wotu hu kwedo waza abon nsam no kado no ena we ko bi bia owote ote ne adansofo ote ba ile ohwemma aban lawyer sha ile wo ga obi to du zapo oya chema hu nduru nso no wa to ne adansofo ne anano no woni chebe da ya otwa tokra wo kra high court a chema hu ntumi de ne ba ya ile aban lawyer panyin me kire Dr. Justice Ramsay na chere lawyer panyin abaje kire ototo nano Evansa Day owie no na high court esigina ede wetu oya busumia odi hene ni mi kire July bosumen ni do to ba asa de ono na nsema wa kodo be ya bosumu kuru no odi ni mu oya atembu nyinara odi ebaba na mrenyimfo a woro twetwaje oya chairman wuntumi ekuru ni din the lawyer Tete Thompson no le kire me de mesima nsema akon na bibiara kon owo mugidiye papa pade asem ni munukwa ma oya atentene ena nyame ya adoma jura abosum no do today basen otemafo otie gom obegina do no debu aten
today. Chairman, good afternoon everyone. Submitting his evidence in support of himself against all the charges leveled against him. Today we called on our last witness, and for that reason the case is nearing its end. The case has been adjourned to the 12th of July for the final judgment. On our part, we have done what is necessary, and we are very convinced the system will work and the court will do what is needful. So we have been directed to file our written addresses before the 17th of July, if we so wish, 17th of June, and we intend to file because we are convinced the evidence we've led so far should support the stance of Chairman Wutumi that in him pleading guilty that he is not guilty. So we thank you very much for coming, and then we will see you on the day.
Enti aya Counsel Tete Thompson oka a lawyer fa wodinmu a wodu twetwaje oye Chairman Wuntumi no ho na nenze yatin enyumre
yeto so ewo Chairman Wuntumi sensem ya enei high court no ahye se July de to so me sanche se wo sese ne bosome pepepe omra no meji judgment ewo ni high profile case no eho na ni nyina mu no eye kwadu a aban di abono se wakoye galamse ewo ye kwaye bretum ewo samra boy ya eno wato emantam emu na omukọ court no mpanyimfo edi akire bie ananso se ensem a ekọ no woni ekwaye adanse a wokogya anu bie eye kane Western Region Minister Kwabnochi Dakumensa ene mpanyimfo eba ye nyina omkoye adansefo so no ye fault defense witness wasem no eho ensem ne kone ne banyina justice Srem sai ya oye Ghana ban lawyer panyin abedi akire o kire nsem mu sei
today and the court has said 3rd July for judgment.
Effectively, what does it mean to the people who are looking forward to looking for this case? Don't make the point that the cases are delayed. Effectively, what does it mean?
Well, the courts do their work based on the rules of court. So whatever we consider, those of us outside the court, whatever we consider as delay, sometimes as a result of the rules of court, even though indeed there are other things that can cause the delay. But what is more important is that on the 3rd, the court will make a pronouncement whether or not the accused persons or any of the accused persons, is guilty of the offenses that we have charged. Thank you very much.
We a Justice Dr. Srem Sai, we Deputy Attorney General.
Ya transamro oncheri biara na konfanoche aban ayaresabia one enkrabata hoye accident and emergency center what ribotu igwade in the ihwa meye papa nti ne wontum enje emergency cases bi abam wobumu akunta wo kiremede oye accident and emergency center na oye 37 bed capacity na chada mpawo a wode jayerohwe no oye eduasa eswan na enso no worubumu akunta no wo chende wo oye ayarefo oye eduasia ekor 61 ewo ho a na chiri mpo no eduasa na no so wo akira owoda wahwe ni nyina na chede mpo won nyimpa dodo a waje won we budu kura nchowoda wotum no na wole chire de ine de wotum wie kakra no wode nhihye egu akon masisi ara mpani bia baka ho a ine yerka se wasen ye bo ya atum a emergency and accident oye cases inara no wareje atum ine oyaja acting medical director Dr. Yao Labi all kasa in oli cheme de wadi nyama atu akwemu ye papa panjisi siara webu ya atum bibia abokodo kama.
Soon after we issued the statement, the Director of Public Affairs issued a statement yesterday. We had a meeting, a Zoom meeting with the Regional Director of Health Services, his Deputy Director of Clinical Care, and medical superintendents of a number of the facilities who refer cases to us. In this meeting, we made them aware of the situation here, and they are already our partners. We collaborate a lot in the care of patients. So we told them the situation, and then we made each of them present tell us about their capacity. So they told us about their capacity and the current state.
Na nkwakura mun na Dr. Yao Labi odetu igwa na oluchire me de inde de no nso no oda sentimentum ha yabo yere hu modin yi papa konfa no che abana yere sabia no bono hu modin de oba mamanfo ayerhwa no mu yede nanso ye wa yere sabia horo wo oye mantem yi muso a yerhwe ni yesesem yebuem wa yedwuma obobo yi papa emodom a bre no bra no biara no wobobu fado wo konfa no che ayere sabia no no du etwetwa ma ayerhwe akonkan e wo mantem no orchema bebi ti de afare ni sewa aban ayere sabia worhwe mani nyina re tutodin ma nyimpa ni bia akwa a nkobobo dodo.
Yes, so as I mentioned, I know we've heard about projects like Afari, Sewa, some of the Agenda 111s, all these facilities plus the existing facilities have to be strategically looked at. And I know they are on the radar of the government. They should be strategically looked at and resourced. Human resource with the right skill mix or right skill sets, and then the right infrastructure and equipment, so that they can also function more efficiently and be able to deliver more than they are doing. And that will solve the problem. Yes.
In the day, Aurelia Etininke, acting medical director, Ezema Konfanoche, Aban Ayresabia, Dr. Yao Labi, Ninze, Enayeti.
Yet one Samne Swa, MTTD, a commander Oda Motor Traffic and Transport Department, and wo baby any a DSP Emmanuel say. And all they are two just say, nkwenshia accidents. A door so do road crashes, bebre. First quarter, I was swimming inside 2026 anymore. Nipa ewu di adiama. Na nina emono a drop 4. Kong America 10 and Saint Kasi ya bubeya. Kwan na baby krano nipa pre chim. Pesu wura baby mi ehu se ne car ko supidi. Na supidi driver ni papa nye speed no de enantio. Driver ni papa bia ne de wakwa abeduro se wo de apasinyafo tena ka mu a wo ye onyankopon a wo ye bambofo firi ho a wo driver ni no na wo hwe pasinyafo nkwaso enti wa ntimi afo ma nkoduru ana wo ntimi afo ma ama atel max papa ni nsem a odi tudwa eni
accident ya record first quarter e wo baby eni do mu a 15 na nyame adom 15 no ebia ahwe ne kra ewo cars no na the hu say accident is saying na over speeding into the extra driver for say umudu kromu a say speeding no eba for man say udu kromu a speeding no 30 kilometers per hour. Say if you are approaching town kakra udu kromu say you 50 reduce your speed, you are approaching town reduce to 50 kilometers per hour. But when you be do kromu I say perform go do 30 and below. Say wono monsa ana alcohol bi ana drugs bi kaka it mesre say omo ekikimene ensane other drugs no some say omo nja so be wo obenu wani so ye tutu ti de wo ye kwa hu hwe na you can't even observe that speed limit no nti ye dia kwanhia beba.
Na DSP Emmanuel Osei ekasawie ye no na GPRTU chairman yo bibie ni owura Richard Adai ono so kan bie kire se omanfo ne mo union ro na omuntimi nyentete entu adroba fofo e wadwuma a wo ye no emu driver adwuma na ye full time adwuma eti se de obi kodi teacher obi koye lawyer obi koye doctor omo so de ne full time adwuma na e wo so mo ani kɔ so sɛ ɛno ne wadwuma a wafa sɛ wo bɛyɛ nti wo sɛ wo yɛ na yɛ ne yie sɛ the doctor bi anhwɛ obi yie e wo hospital a etimi kɔ fa wuo ba ma yɛ so ya no gu nipa ne so no driver ni adwuma ne so yɛ full time adwuma nti omunya America tentetuo ensanom ene enioma basa obi okra car no otimo mu sɛ bibia atɔkye wo ho enso onye da wode me kɔ aba me kɔ baako aba me kɔ hwie omu baako me kɔ ekyira no pami wi anwumre saa gisa asɛm asi nti ye ma droba fo ne so ani nkɔ so no munya wadwuma yie
ero ye ba fa pa wo suna yasre impactful say bubusu any drivers for kasa that's accident cases is maybe station had bubusu bomb because man tibia bene omo meeting say overspeeding overtaking the chiwa no ga continue for 3 months no mo ye meeting point no kasa ya wada ye bai Misa no mo ayi meeting nti ma me station had ye nyame adom ye nhwe dan ehu biasa
wei ene afu a yeto adrobafo ewo nkwanhia dodo ehu
afi biara ebibirim amanne mu mpanyimfo kehia edwendwen oye ebibiri amane ho dam robe ya sikasam no ntutue infridwuma no mmoyi obokwado ye papa pam ebibiri amane mu nyina sikasam ntutue akonkan ma ye no ho atoyen na motodu idu ebieni ni ewo London abrochimane mu dwumadi no akodo ema Ghana mampanyin His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ikopo mu wo hobi no mampanyin Mahama ditugwa ina ole kira olu boni dewura achewiaza amane nyina kankan wona wo sika wodi bo mfiridwuma potokase wofo oye global investors ole kira mu de ebibira aman yeni wo ebu yi papa yaje yenu ntutu ne yenhye egina biaye bia ibobo mfiridwuma we bibira aman mu a ebenya wusika bibiare bokoye damo osi hwe bibira aman a yenu ho le konkan ye papa immebunu so le prinyimdi afe yenu nkronkro ahoro num luboebu ye papa ni nyina wa ma bibira aman sika sam no waya akono enti no eho na wo sika wode hye mfiridwuma mu no mo wonhwe de waya tonotono nkoten wakranyama wode bogu bibira aman egodi bia ahoro na mmom no wo mobo mfiridwuma na mfaso babado amhoni ye pa.
Today's gathering could not be more timely. We meet at a moment of profound transition in the global economy. Trade systems are shifting, geopolitical alliances are evolving, supply chains are being reconfigured, development finance is shrinking, and nations are searching for resilience, growth, energy, security, and trusted partners to work with. And in the midst of this transition, Africa is rising not as a passive observer, but as a decisive force in shaping the future global economy. The theme before us today, redefining partnerships, navigating a world in transition, demands more than discussion. It demands a new framework for engagement between Africa and the world. For too long, Africa was viewed primarily through the lens of aid, crisis, and dependency. But that narrative is collapsing under the weight of current reality. The Africa of today is youthful, it is dynamic, it is entrepreneurial, it is digitally connected, it is resource rich.
Ne kwakwa mu omampanyini ejina akonya ne dudutono oman Ghana ye papa ena olo kire wiaje aman nkankan wona wo sika wode hye infridwuma mu kire investor today oman Ghana baby a yegine we bibiri mu no onye oman Ghana aye no ho today anu ena ewosika na je eribobbo infridwuma iwe bibira amene mu a iwura Ghana pe chede iwura bebiara ose infridwuma ne mwe no Ghana yegire na do eziriska ezibashe oyesika kwabia ne mwe mu a yegire na do efi eribeye bibia ebi mmada eribeye adafoforo kra ina ne mu egwedza ne mu kwankana a Ghana yegine bebia oya akono ye papa nti investors imfa woni sika mu wura man Ghana sikasem tutuim na mfaso babado amhoni ye pa.
When I assumed office in January 2025, Ghana was confronting one of the most difficult economic periods in its recent history. Inflation was high, investor confidence had weakened, the national currency had depreciated sharply, public debt had risen significantly, and the country was navigating a painful debt restructuring program. But we refused to accept decline as our destiny. In 18 months, we've implemented disciplined macroeconomic reforms, we've restored fiscal confidence, and we've stabilized the economy.
Amampayini Cecil John Dramani Mahama Ninze Ena Yeti.
Ye ko Western North emantamu kra ye sahwi erenchire ye kra adwuma mo ye fum dwuma farming community na omanfo no kasa de adesre to aban anim ne woni eka bia wano duru dwom nyina so omra meboa won o meye mpuntu dwuma mfama won ne ma ema setena mu ye da bi ye nsuo akwampa enkanea suku adan ene de keka ka ho nyina enya de a wonsa eka bi enei okira mobile phone ni na ba bia kura bi wase enso mo de agisi etu kwan e de gubi ka battery ekosi so du phone kwa no akotua sika no akọ charge no asan de aba bebi won so kura network no jiso ofurudua na mere we wo mu yi omo betimi afurudua nti na chese wo de call no nya bida enti wasre omanfo e de afa aban so sa aban ne mra na o meye bibi mfa ho
mo kwana zo mu so mo firi ha ko ntaka nti wo firi ha ye ni pap bia pap ne si ha no enye ena ye oba ko so wo soro wan so minute bia na asen ono so firi ho ya ye si dan foforo no lat puru ni ho light ni ho toss me esa ni toilet so
bo mam ka che le school ni ale che ya kwa ya wo pen ba ku school ni kuro dua ya nu ngola ane mo kuro kutu aya dia so be flenda kan e kwa ma ba teacher be ho school ni ko dress akola ane kama ko du atinu na nzie no wayi akola ne woteti nzie na nu a ko du school su ya na ndon
na enu na chi no de wo hwe kire sesei se erenchire ehene na kofi somu a otoso emienu ono so de na no tumu bi kire se nyame anim no kureni amakro ne so tena aye ya papa omo to aba nti omo so fata omo mpuntu sem
ni nsuo ni ya du ba bia ka ye mitanka ye de be yusu nsuo mitani ya stay en sanka ana school ni so MP approaches ba ya so of boy or promises of my school until or started say we see down so you say the volunteer so a pop until so I akaho until ye pemwa afia ba mu na isi ade nse na ekosi ye no akwese na wose wono ana ho de na odi ye until ama ye ntimi hu se ye nkwa ba mu enko gimwa na se bibi tisa until sana akoye and so omo koyi fudu anyaso na speed bi omo de fa ho na boy ba akokọ hwe ho no e koya no kura na yesi wo
abusuafo wei eye ohene a ne kuro asem ne ye kan sahwi mpotamo ho a wo kire se ahokire enioma nkoyi enti aban twa na ni mehwe wo mu
damma afi MPP amanyuku no won agomtenafo ebien ana enne wana so ayesu ye papa wasenji bia sa eyi oya chairman wuntumi oya santimantem gomtene yi MPP amanyuku ni ejifiwa afi bunu mantem gomtene yi ejima MPP amanyuku no aye kwame bafo lulu na fa na bonye ono so agina assemblée bia sisiara no no ana yereka se na asam wo Accra High Court enne wakwa assemblée bia court etu asam no oda shada de oye busumi ya yewo ne do todo anan me kire da chena yewude yara no no mu ana asam orukwode abro yewori nyidzi nkobo no wobisa na ye ma orukwode orubo hu emenne bibisa nkeke bi ma oso hwana ame makasande makasa chena de nisi amanyuku wa banemu na enyama awori ya na bo a wo hye wonjido ebo a wada asha achechirefo edwuma a woso wada magana fo afi edwuma yefo a weyi woneji inyinara no ni nyinara no mampanyin mahama na memwa ya truke ame kwa me bafo abro nyama manka maka papa wode me ko gina asanyi bia idu makasa du
o me ba se kura de koba bia mo be hu menche ba de oh ye kan sempa mani party ye se ko se de kristo kan ye se koba bia ko kan sempa ne bi ni se teacher for o ma ye adwuma close to 2 years na ye ntwe omoka na o mu di awerho sika krom de be kwa akọkira de ura community na de awerho kra nze se wo nua baaye teacher ni kira de na se 15 17 months ye ntwe anka oba o mema de se mutimi yisu boxer shorts ba ko 10 3-5 years na months sans what about oba ye ntwe anka on timi yisu bita what ya say nti san kofo ne nsem ne ye kan se aban ne fi se ye kasati omo ye
enti bunu mantem gomtena nyidima NPP amanyuku no Kwame Bafo abronye ninze ene yeti
Yeda so gyina mu MPP nsemu na we de ye koma mrahye bedwafi Parliament House ofo ase yire bi MP eyekwadwo ponkroma ene odi atudwa se NDC for the some homrane ese free IMF mo so bi obeka se bia na mpeso ka no kredit kirew IMF no akoye so odwan ya waton no ne so da so akuta ni dua yesi ya enfie nan ya ye de ho kobo omo no egu ya wie na so mfie miensa bi wo ho aka omo da so a ene yete ya omo hwe yen krata asemu papa panti aban ni ntimi mfa ne panya hwe ko sisi IMF no ene ye be wie kura the next 3 years na European kroma gina parliament mrahye bedwafie ema 2026 April staff level agreement ya enfie mienu aka omo de be monitor no mahwe ne omo nyina PCI no oka ho asem.
There was a lot of spin claiming that Ghana has exited quote unquote the IMF. And in that there was a lot of statement claiming that Ghana has exited for what he calls quote unquote a policy coordination instrument. As my colleagues and I will demonstrate in our submissions this afternoon, Ghana has not exited the IMF. We are members of the IMF. We went for an extended credit facility program. That program has been fully conducted. It has led to the stability that was the objective, and that program has come to an end. And the government has now signed or is in the process of signing another program, which is the PCI. And the government should be candid and let the Ghanaian people know so.
Na kojo amananso hwa bionso okanyuma ena afi asetene mu din aye ena ho kire ye pa ye ho kra ye hu yasenem okira enema bi aban no eye no omie bie ne ntaban mu na de o ya wonya hu nimde no omisa ne mpanyi sa tie bisa ene agoro ne din ena no kra da nkyɛn a Ghana Statistical Service nkunta omubuo kire de bia unemployment rate nam 14.7%, inflation enam 3%, also amanya inflation nam 3%, nye se ni mutie America mo ene aman na sorry ye didi free no eno na inflation nam 3%.
Quarterly labor force survey Q3 2025. It says, and Mr. Speaker, I quote, in December 2024, the unemployment rate for young Ghanaians aged 15 to 24 stood at 32%. By the third quarter of 2025, that figure has risen to 32.5%, Mr. Speaker. In the Greater Accra region alone, youth unemployment as at Q3 2025 is now at 49.3%. What it means is that, on the average, 1 out of every 2 young people that you meet on the streets of the Greater Accra region is unemployed. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Statistical Service is saying that 7 out of every 10 unemployed Ghanaians are under the age of 35.
We ofuasia yire bi MPP na shebedwani kojo oponkroma.
Yemfa kasebon ko pemu won finfin mantem na Gomua West ekrosin mu ena medimu no ko pai na omanfa wo Gomua obiri ina worusu wanamwanna asambre manodo lesre aban ena aban krachi penyina wo Gomua West ekrosin mu lekirem de impotem wono bibiere nyihu a okoduye akwana atetu apansam enne nkane wonsam inde insupa wonuma ni nyinare wonyibi ne mo twensunu eye ihumasuo ho wolichem na kuro no freaking negatin ojikosi oye JHS3 atechefo wo iye esia pe da ma atechefo nyina no wohwe dem oye classes ni nyina da ni na romwa ma ihumasuo enkodo impuntudwuma so wabo honiye papa enchi no onyimnyamfo February ya oye assembly member wo Gomua West Kurosini mu ena ogina wana name no akasai ena ode da mensam ni nyinara ozuru tugwa ena wana mdo wala sra abanede abane mmodinara no sane de ye akwambon le homan wenye super zone
sayensu sam no aha wadwen kase kwa wo program mu ana me kwana a wo ye nti nsu sam ne de higher kase pa wo ade ina wato de bi network 7 de higher papa saisi ai say benya message abi ho mo a ase say wo kegina bi po bi so asa na wenya network asa na watumi gedi juma wo say mudi na eto si bi ma higher kase ka ta wo ha ye school ha no modern lack teachers a wo school ha headmaster ka ho a omo yes na omo school ha this say wo kwa GHS a teacher ni ba ko pe na hwɛ the whole DHS nti ɔno so yɛ how kasa ɔha onye na ebe sra ban dɛ ɔyɛ posting na wɔn kai obi na yɛsɛ yɛn teachers no kɔnhwɛ ɛno fɔman ɛman
na ɔyɛ assembly member nanu si no ɛna ɔbaatan ya ɔwɔ gomua obiri nana kwa ehuru no nso de nanu tum miri kyerɛ me dɛ akwanbon ɛna school no nyama ɔrekɔdo wɔ hɔ no nya kora ne sɛ so nti wɔ hiamwa
na sɛ ne sisi ya mo na ndoma ndɛ ɛkyɛkyɛ fupo wayɛ ɔyɛ kyerɛ da bɛkyɛ ndɛ school no yam mwa ta ruminant nwan na fanchi na de no wɔ sɛ hɔ ama sɛ adesua nhyɛ da amfodo kɔsɛ ne bi esu sɛm so ahaye kakra wɔ fie koma ɔyɛ dɛ bɛyɛ for past 2 months and a half inya nti dɛ contact
ne kwakro mun ana jidom hin ewo inei gomwa nananum atena nkonyo ha nana kwabo agman ono so de na nutum no kyerem de abafo ngitawu iji no ewo ntentemfiri no do hello no won network ne nya kra no so wo hiam mmoai
chukeze onkoye manya wo akora ne da se amejire se me obere bakasa anara me bafo bia chide me kagine baidi asana me network ya complain na yeyembo bia anyede mfimba na nse na wada de bebe se sanu so bonyo so monyo yenyim moto no mo ye bi oye pansebo mo kwansem na je onya kra fiti chenkwanta de besen do ko hweda dodo kwani yakra nche ofi chenkwanta de ba obera
anti nana kwabo agman ena enede no ono so de ensem ne munkyerem ni yinara oze atu igwa eno ewo ho na kasebon lisidi na yemfa yintu edo na oyepo virtuous woman was one bosom empaibo ebro no waso ye papa june bosom ne je wonu frase oye edachina ye wode bosom ne do otodo anano no na waja akosi oye memenda bosom ne do otodo esuan enji no membesi na wonhye no so ano ahomache inhyemija woye from 3 am to 5:30 pm no ye woda na nifiden wo baye ne dem afi dembra memenda bia no pono nse kosi ano pono wotwe wo bompai anum ye show don hwere bie no so no bakodo ye papa nti members no won ma ene won hye so na member bia so na sereba bomba general na fe bidi wo kire na fa na bra na onye akonno kama onfa ma uwo ho
ebo ababa wakitu bi ayira anji wedi 4 years anji edi 4 years na yeso ojeje oyekoko otiaputu oja ode ne maami ba adwoma no pay opz ho afi anwumre yi bobo ba ya ne maami ne ehwehwe na wo hu no eme se wa frɛ ni panim se so obi ahyeda amoa no de na fa ba bia ebusuafo so hu abaya bi a wodi be mfie nan ye frɛ no anji a yesrew fa ne brɛ yɛn pamocho ewo oyepadwuma mu ha ana so se police station bi e ben wo no wo de fa ne kɔ na frɛ 0243 729 127 0243 729 127 and 0243 833 830 0243 833 830 na yehu anjia yebeda mo ase
yera Emmanuel Odro Korea no esem fani Jimmy Clay fire producer several room funu do so ye papa studios aye obapa preaching patrician wo bohine chi dom de producers enwanu mebia na ye bosom won amemezine ze uncle ebo baini ena
akria esidwa
asitina pankomo ya bless